Okay, Monday morning weather update. The storm is headed offshore, but its low pressure is still generating some moisture out of the Atlantic, and it's flowing it into Atlantic Canada today, and some of that could spread into northern New England today in the form of showers. We've also got a pretty nice dry flow coming out of Michigan into the Midwest. That's moving into the Mid-Atlantic and central and southern New England, which is going to make for a beautiful day today in those areas. Let's take a look at our current temps. Already up there in the 40s for most of us, and today we're going to make it all the way into the 50s for a lot of us in southern New England. And oops, this is actually the wrong map. I apologize. This is the right map. Once again, we're gonna make it into the 50s for a lot of spots in southern New England, and maybe 40s once you head a little further north. Boston Marathon runners, it is looking beautiful for you guys without a doubt. We should be kind of chilly to start off the day, but again in the 40s. But we should be, once you get into Boston, once you get into 128, temps should start warming up into the 50s. And although that may sound a little chilly, I mean, runners, this is really just ideal weather for runners. Partly cloudy skies, not too much sun, a little breezy, and cool. Okay, so let's dive into southern New England short range forecast. Tuesday, looking very nice out there, looking like we're going to be talking about 60s for a lot of far southern New England, for most of southern New England actually, up into Maine. 50s once you get further north, maybe a pocket of 40s in the higher elevations. Let's take a look at Wednesday, which is okay, let's take a look at Wednesday. And here for Wednesday, we've got 60s spreading all the way up to the Canadian border, really. Some pockets of 50s in the higher elevations of northern New England, but that is just about it. Some 70s in eastern Massachusetts. I'm thinking Wednesday should really be the pick of the week in terms of the weather. So let's dive into the forecast models by taking a look at the GFS for kind of the long-range weather outlook. And I'll take you out to 4 days out. And there we go. Take you out to 4 days. Not a whole lot going on. A little bit of a storm kind of passes offshore. Then by the time we get to Saturday, next Saturday, maybe Friday, we're gonna get a little bit of a disturbance coming from New England. Then we're pretty quiet pattern for next weekend, really. And then we get a new storm developing in the Ohio Valley. Some models have been showing this as really a superstorm as it sucks in Gulf of Mexico moisture. A couple days ago, the models had it coming up into New England as a snow storm. I'm not even kidding, snow. It seems late in the season, but based on the way the models are interpreting this, it's certainly not out of the question. The last graphic I want to show you is the ensemble means. I used to show this a lot in my old videos, my older videos back this winter, and it's not because I don't like the graphic. It's because the graphic is usually for giving me an idea of what's going on in the upper atmosphere, and usually tells me gives me an idea of the upper atmosphere patterns and whether or not a snowstorm is headed for New England, which is an interesting topic to bring up this late in the year. But let's take a look at what's going on. What I'm looking for is a very sharp difference between cold and warm air. Do you see it? Not really. There's the contours are really widely spaced, which tells you that there's not too much of a cold. And this is by the time the storm is coming through. But I'll take you out further beyond that, and we can take a look at now. So now there's a pretty sharp boundary, and you can see the boundary kind of lifts up and down. So it's really it's kind of hard to predict at this point, but some interesting weather is definitely very likely for the end of April. I leave you now with the end of the video with some photos from Iceland, the Iceland volcano. You've probably heard about it. It has grounded tens, even hundreds of thousands of flights across Europe. See you guys later. It's Nick for the New England Weatherlife.now.com.
Let's go! Yeah! For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name. He doesn't need his name up in lights, he just wants to be heard, whether it's the beat of the mic. He feels so unlike everybody else, alone, in spite of the fact that some people still think that they know. But no, he knows the code. It's not about the sound.